I'm
Welcome
always
back.
available if you want anyone on there.
For sure, yeah. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Liberty Hour. I'm here with my friend Royce, and we were just talking about an NFL mock draft. Um, so basically, what I was gonna say though is with Marshawn Lynch. Actually, you were talking about Marshawn Lynch. Go ahead. Go ahead and continue with what you were saying.
Yeah. The Marshawn Lynch thing is it was a 2-year deal that would carry them through just the merger from Oakland to Las Vegas. This team they're building right now is not meant to be a contender for Oakland. It's supposed to be the future for Vegas and really giving them a preview of what they will see, specifically with Antonio Brown and all the building blocks they're going to be acquiring in this draft for the future. So I wouldn't expect much from the Raiders to really put that much effort into Oakland, considering they're just going to head over to Las Vegas after this season.
What I was thinking, and by the way, I want to apologize to everyone. I feel like I've interrupted Royce at the end of parts, every single part besides one. And, I'm going to try to find a way to where I don't have to get interrupted every part on podcasts. It's just something that happens because I only have 15 minutes every segment, unfortunately. But anyways, what I was going to say is, what I think would be cool, like we're speaking about Joshua Jacobs here, and I think that if they sign Lynch to like a 1-year deal, I think that it'd be really cool to see a rookie in Jacobs with how much talent that he has get taken under the wing of a veteran like Marshawn Lynch and learn from him as well. I think that would be just super beneficial for the franchise. Even if they get him as a second string running back just for that reason, I think that would be very, very cool.
And I kind of fall in this belief as far as the Cowboys with re-signing Jason Witten. What if they sign Lynch to a long-term deal, let's say, but it's not even for playing? What if you make him the new running backs coach? And you basically he's from Oakland, he's our guy. We liked him here last year. If he wants to stay, we can offer him the coaching job if he doesn't want to play anymore. I think Witten for Dallas, honestly, is him playing this year is the link to him becoming the tight ends coach for that staff for the future.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point on that. So we just had a great discussion on the NFL mock draft. So transitioning out of that, I want to get into Major League Baseball. So yesterday was opening day for MLB. Well, technically the A's played 2 games in Japan and unfortunately lost both of those games, but we won't talk about that. We're back here in the United States and we have MLB starting up. So basically, we want to get into some predictions here. We're going to talk about who we think is going to be in the American League Championship Series, the National League Championship Series, and why. Right now, my A's are tied 0-0, no score, top of the 6th. The Giants are down 3-0 against the Padres, and I think we both agree that the Giants aren't going anywhere, and the A's, unless they get probably something going with their pitching staff, they're going to have a little bit of a rough year, at least in my opinion as well. But I want to get your thoughts, Royce. So I'll start with you. We'll start with the ALCS. Who do you see in the American League Championship Series at the end of the season, and why? Royce, you there?
Hello, you there?
Can you hear me? Royce, you there? Royce, you there? I think we might have lost him, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to call him back. So sorry about that, guys. Just sometimes things happen on the podcast, and so I'm going to give him a call back, and hopefully this works now. Let's see if he picks up. There we go. Royce, can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. It kind of was cutting out on my.
Okay, cool, awesome. All right, now we can hear me. So, anyways, the question I was going to ask you was, who do you see at the end of the season making the American League Championship Series, and why?
At the end of the day, the American League Championship Series, I see Boston being back in there, and I think the Astros will be in there.
Okay.
I don't have faith in the Yankees. I know a lot of people want to put a lot of merit on the Yankees and their talent. To me, the Astros built their team the right way. Young, they're all team players. They played with each other, and they got a great staff. As it pertains to health, they weren't great last year because they played longer than everyone else, basically. So, and then the Red Sox, they're the champs. You kind of can't say anything other than that. They're one of the best in the business right now.
Okay. Well, I agree with one of those. I agree with the Red Sox. Yeah, I'm one of those people, Royce. I'm saying Yankees. Yeah, I'm one of those people. I think personally, those are the 2 best pitching staffs in the major leagues, or at least in the American League. With Severino, Sabathia, Tanaka, Gray, I think you have a phenomenal pitching staff in New York. And that's why I'm thinking it's going to be Red Sox and Yankees just for that reason alone. I'm expecting the Red Sox to get back to the World Series, but that, when it comes down to, for me, is pitching. That's the reason why I have the Yankees in there instead of the Astros. It's going to be close though, man. That's tough, but I have to go Yankees.
Yeah, it's going to be a good race in the American League.
And then in the National League, so we'll go ahead and get into this. I'll start with this one with my predictions. So it's so hard to predict what the Phillies are going to do this season with Bryce Harper, with Upton, with everybody that they've gotten. And I think that they have a lot of talent. I think that they're going to be a contender. This was tough for me. I put them in the ALCS or NLCS, and I might be kind of overrating them a little bit there. But I really think with that new talent they've got that they are going to be just a phenomenal team. They were about a 500 team last year. They're surely going to be much better this season. I'm expecting them to be right around 95 wins. I'm going to pick Phillies-Dodgers. That's my pick. I don't think the Phillies are going to make the World Series. I'm not going to go that far. I'm going to say it's a rematch of last year. Red Sox, Dodgers. I know that's kind of a vanilla pick maybe, but that's my thought. What do you say? Royce, you there?
For the NLCS, I have the Brewers and the Dodgers. I think that's going to be a good series there. I think the Brewers will get revenge off of the Dodgers beating them last year. And my World Series is Brewers, Astros. I just think both teams will be able to be a very high-powered home run type of series in a 2-dome ballpark. It'll be a very entertaining series with a Christian Yelich and the Brewers defense and offense with the Astros Altuve in their offense as well.
Okay, well, we will have to see. Obviously, we've got about 6 months or more of baseball to play before we get to that point. So, season just started yesterday, and definitely going to be quite interesting. Hopefully, my A's can make it back to the playoffs. Unfortunately, with our pitching staff, I think that's our main goal: make it back to the playoffs.
The Giants will make it back to October. No, they won't.
No, Giants might make it to 70.
The Giants, as of right now, they can't score anything. So hey.
Yeah, they haven't scored yet, unfortunately, in a game. Yeah,
and they're down 3-0 right now in the bottom of the fifth. Oh, joy!
Quick update on some NCAA tournament scores for you guys. Duke is back up over Virginia Tech 71-66 with 3 minutes left in the second half of the game. Kentucky over Houston 45-41 with 10 minutes left in the game. So one more thing I wanted to get into sports-wise before we get into a couple of political issues to close out the show. So we mentioned some NBA stuff earlier. You're a Warrior fan. I'm a Warrior fan. And I wanted to ask you, who would you want to play first round? Who do you think? I mean, I think overall, whoever we play, we've got a great chance against. I think the Rockets pose the greatest threat. But what do you think would be the easiest first round matchup out of these 4 teams and why? I'll give them to you. The Jazz, the Clippers, the Thunder, and the Spurs.
I think the Clippers are the ones that I would say the Warriors would want to face first, just because the Clippers really have no intention of being in the playoffs in the first place. They don't want to get rid of that lottery pick to the Celtics, I believe, is who they would give it up to.
Yes. And
it just the way it fell, the Clippers kept winning, and everyone who was supposed to be in the playoffs kept losing. So, I think the Warriors would want to play the Clippers, but I don't think they'd have a problem playing the Thunder or the Spurs.
I would say Clippers. I agree with you on that as well. I think that they are probably the team that has the least chance of having a chance to go off and have with the firepower they've got. I personally don't want to play the Thunder. I know that they haven't been playing the greatest ball as of late, but I mean, with the way Paul George has played this season, probably third in line for MVP. And obviously a Popovich coach Spurs squad. Those are 2 teams that I personally don't want to go up against first round. My opinion is the Rockets are going to be the toughest team to go up against. I know the Nuggets have given us, a run for the one spot the entire year, but the Rockets are a team that I really am scared of going up against. But I want to get your thoughts, Eastern Conference or Western Conference, assuming, unless you don't think we make the finals, but who do you think is going to pose us the greatest threat towards getting another championship?
I think as good as the Warriors are, it's kind of hard to pick a team that's like, oh, that's a challenge, because it's like, nah, not really. But my pick would be the Bucks. I think just Giannis playing the way he's playing, and really the way they play is a huge benefit against the Warriors. But at the end of the day, I just don't see many teams challenging the Warriors right now, to the point where I think in the playoffs a lot of teams will just throw in the towel, because it's like, we just want to move on to next season and see if this team dismantles.
Yeah. Well, obviously a great shooting from Middleton. Bledsoe's a great player. So the Eastern Conference is definitely going to be something that will be very entertaining to watch when it comes to the first and second round of the Eastern Conference in the playoffs. But like I said earlier, I still think it's the Sixers. I think they've got the best overall squad out of anyone. Their bench isn't exactly the strongest. They've got a pretty weak bench, but with the shooting of JJ Redick, the play of Ben Simmons, the explosiveness of Embiid and Butler being able to go off at any time for 40, I think personally that they've got probably the best chance against us. That's just my opinion.
And I think there's one thing we're kind of missing when it comes to the Warriors. It's still the regular season. They're not giving it their all yet. When they hit the playoffs, they flip the switch and it just becomes a rout. So we'll see what happens, but I just don't see how the Warriors don't come out of the West.
And I just wanted to say, too, even though we haven't been playing great ball, I have to applaud Cousins, in the games he's played ever since he's come back from injury. He hasn't been super consistent, but he's actually played a lot better than I expected. And I think that he could be a very big key come playoff time for us. And I am very appreciative of what he has brought to our squad, even for the short amount of games he has played.
Yeah. No.
Cool.
I agree.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to go ahead and transition into some politics now. So we got a couple issues politically that we want to talk about. The first one, since I have it up and I didn't forget about it, Royce, is the Jussie Smollett thing. So I'll go ahead and read this. This is from the Chicago Tribune. Me reading this will lead us out of this part and into the next. The demand that, quote, Empire actor Jussie Smollett pay Chicago back for an alleged hate crime hoax despite being cleared of criminal charges punctuated an increasingly shrill war of words Thursday that stretched to the White House and New York. The day began with President Trump tweeting that the U.S. Department of Justice and FBI were to review what happened in the Smollett investigation, which ended in stunning fashion Tuesday when Cook County prosecutors dropped all charges, alleging he'd staged a racist and homophobic attack on himself. So basically, he was out in Chicago one morning, and he claimed that there was some people that came up against him. They said that they were Trump supporters and stuff like that, had the MAGA hats on, and he had a noose around his neck and stuff like that. First off, I don't know who carries around a noose around. That's just crazy to me. But the whole idea of doing this in general was just insane. And I want to get your thoughts of, do you believe that Smollett should have been cleared of these charges? Why? Just what is your thought on the entire situation in general, but specifically that? Why do you think he was cleared of those charges, and do you think he should have been?
I'll start with this. I think the situation itself was handled very sloppily. Especially considering they just kind of dropped the charges out of nowhere. It was very surprising when the news came out. I would have liked to have seen more of a kind of just due process, look into it, do an investigation, see what's going on, figure it out. Because I'm not going to sit here and conclude anything. I'm not going to sit here and say he definitively staged it. I'm not going to say that he definitively got attacked, because I'm not in the court of public opinion through social media. So as far as I'm concerned, if he did, then that's a despicable act, and really I think you shouldn't gain any benefit from doing it. From certain stories, he was trying to get a raise on the show Empire, which he somewhat stars in. And it's just, instead of just throwing out accusations, let's figure out the truth of what happened, really, is what I'm calling for.
Yeah, and I'm going to get into my entire reasoning of why I think this was done, how disgusting it is, everything when we get back here for part 6 of the Liberty Hour. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be right back.